Sound rolling.
All right. 3, 2. What's going on, everybody? It's me, Asad Hashim Ali, back again with another episode of Behind the Grind. It's a big episode today. And today we've got a very special guest, a very cool guest. I've met him once before this. I just want to get an understanding of who he is as a person, where he's been, what his life has been like. And I have to say is that if I had met him earlier, I would have made him my mentor already. But Rahid Sami is with us today. Rahid, how are you?
I'm good, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me over here.
So, for you as well, and for all those who are new to this channel, Behind the Grind is that podcast where we sit with cool people who are doing cool things on a regular basis, people whose grind I admire, people whose story I admire, that is you, and people basically who just have a lot to share. And over the past couple of episodes, you may have seen that we've taken a bit of a business spin to it, but the origin story matters a lot as well. And I think, Rahid, when I heard your origin story for the first time, when we met at the office, I was a bit blown away, considering that, I saw your resume as well, I saw your website, and I was like, you know what, there are a lot of things that you just don't see. You can't judge a book by its cover. And not to say that I was judging you, with all due respect, but I was actually, kind of inspired also to hear about what you went through. So let's start off from that. What was it like growing up for you? What was your childhood like?
Childhood. Okay. Childhood was busy. Okay. My father he had his business in Dubai. We did our prep schooling in London. I used to study in a place called Croydon and did my prep schooling there. I think over a period of time, and I think I was growing up a little too fast, where my mother one day said to me, shall we go back to Dubai and meet your dad? I said, yeah, sure. Little did I know what was going around in my mother's head. We never went back again to London. So I came back, studied here in Pakistan. I was in Sharjah for a bit, in Pakistan College Sharjah. Had a fantastic 1 year there. And I've studied in Habib Public School, and I've had the best time of my life. I made some good friends. I graduated in 1984. I did my matriculation from there. I was into all sports. I've done boxing, as you can see. I've done judo. I've done karate. I've done field events. I did the javelin and the shot put throwing and the 1500 meters. I had my very good friends from Lyari, where I used to go boxing. And I think I've had a great time growing up. Do I have any regrets? Not really. I don't have any regrets. I think I had a wonderful childhood. My mother, who was the iron person behind us, taking care of somebody like me and growing up with somebody like me wasn't easy. I gave her the toughest time possible, but she held on. And we are where we are today. My sister is a doctor. My brother is an engineer by profession. And my brother is into other things. My sister is into other things. But I am who I am, and I thank God.
Yeah.
My mother brought me back from London. She could see what I couldn't.
Yeah.
And we came back. Made lots and lots of friends. Still friends with lots of people from the school days.
All right.
Yeah.
And you turned out to become an entrepreneur, a motivational speaker, a sales coach.
Honestly speaking, my dreams were totally different. Okay?
Yeah.
So right out of when I was ending my metric, I actually wanted to go into the army.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to go into the army. I wanted to become a commando kind of thing. So the first thing I did after school was apply into the army. And we had our medicals here on Sharai Faisal. Then we were shortlisted. And what happened was that we and this group we met at the Malir place. They used to call us every single day at 6:30 in the morning to report at the Malir उन लोगों का जो the area was
Yeah.
recruitment. And at 2:30 in the afternoon, they used to tell us to go home and come back the next day. So we did that. We had no transportation. So we had to get on different buses in the morning and stuff and get to Malir from Defense. It was a long way.
Yeah.
So at 2:30, every single day for 1 week, they said, go back home. So one day, because I was a little more vocal than the others, so all the other 10 guys told me, why don't you go and talk to the guy? Now, the only thing left was an eye test. Everything had happened. Everything was clear. The eye test remained. So I said, okay. So I went up to the guy and he's just sitting in there. It's like, excuse me, but you call us up every single day at 6:30 in the morning. And at 2:30, you tell us to go. So I'm like, what's going on? Just get it over with. So he looks at me, he goes, how many are you? We said, we're about 12, 13 of us. He said, sabko bula lo andar. Hum gaye. In the next 3 minutes, we were all done.
Yeah.
And all 13 of us were permanently rejected from the army. And without an appeal. And so we couldn't even appeal and try to go back. So that was my dream number one shattered right there and then. So I had to quickly go back and say, all right, that's gone. We have got, quickly reinvent and do something else. And then that's how life began. And then I wanted to do hotel management.
Okay. But sorry, before you get into hotel management, actually, may I ask what was the reason they rejected you? Like,
they didn't tell us.
No,
just go. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Never could we even apply for it. They just told us to. Thank you very much.
No rationale whatsoever.
No rationale, nothing at all. 3 minutes, 13 kids out of the door. All 13 of them permanently rejected without the appeal.
Damn.
So they went the army bit. That's all right.
And then came hotel management.
So yeah, wanted to do hotel management. This is a time when my father was still alive. Things were very different when my father was around. So he used to live in Dubai. We used to live in, so we had a base in London, in Dubai and Karachi. So that's how we used to move around a lot. And one fine day, this is back in 1984, me and my brother, we came back and we sat down. My mother was traveling with my sister to Skardu. And the phone rang, and this guy, says, my brother picks up the phone. So he said, "Aap Sami saab ke kaun bol rahe hain?" My brother said, "Man ka beta bol raha hu." He says, "I just have to inform you that your father just passed away." And we didn't know what to do. 16, 17-year-olds didn't know what was happening, and that's when life changed. So all that traveling and the life that we had completely changed, and reality kicked in. That wasn't reality. This is. So we had to get back on our feet very quickly because it wasn't a very good ride after, and the next few years were very difficult for all of us. But as I said, my mother, who was the strength behind all of us, and we did odd jobs. Me and my brother started a business which we called Janitorial J or something, Housekeeping J. Yeah, Housekeeping J. We did janitorial services. And our first contract was a courier company. Okay. Now, so socially we were also very active.
Yeah.
But doing janitorial work was also, how are we going to do this stuff?
Yeah.
So we used to get out at 5 o'clock in the morning, go clean the place up, and get out there before people started coming in. We did that for a few years. We then started a carpet cleaning business. Again, there were only two people, me and my brother. My mother bought us a machine, which was a wet and dry machine.
Yeah.
And we started going to house, cleaning carpets and stuff. That's when the entire story began. And then one fine day, I said...
And you're still 17 at that time.
I'm still 17, 18, somewhere around there. And didn't have any other option. That is what we had to do. And I'm glad in a way that happened, because everything happens for a reason. I believe that everything happens for a reason, because had that not happened, I don't know where I would have been today and what I would have been doing, because I was a totally spoiled brat.
Right.
Okay. And I, as I said, I wouldn't know where I would have been. So those things happened and stuff, and then we moved on. I then did a course. So hotel management went out the door because circumstances changed.
Yeah.
So that went out the door. After that, I went to this institute called Pakistan Institute of Tourism and Hotel Management, PISM.
Yeah.
So I went there and I said I want to do a front office course. So I did a front office course, and while doing the front office course, they sent us to different hotels. I was sent to Holiday Inn then, and I was given a internship at while I was doing my course. I was given an internship at Holiday Inn. So I went there. While I was working there, our job was to, of course, stand at the counter. So right now, if you enter Marriott, the counter on the left-hand side is where my area was. And we used to stand 12 hours a day. We weren't allowed to sit. We just got a lunch break and 2 tea breaks, 10 minutes, and a lunch break for about 20-25 minutes. The rest of the time we had to stand and take care of our customers. Thoroughly enjoyed it because it was difficult. At that point in time, my salary was 1,305 rupees that we used to get a month for standing for 12 hours and taking care of customers. Yeah, did that. But while I was doing that, I was also given the opportunity of working at the banquets. Okay, so banquet was more towards putting up the tables and cutlery, crockery and stuff. So one day, while I was attending, and I used to wear a bow tie and stuff, and a waistcoat. One day there was a wedding, and there were some relatives at that wedding, and I was on the other side waiting on tables, and they gave me that look, uska beta, ye kar raha hai, that kind of look. So I went up to my mom. I said, I think I should leave because She says, no. If you are doing it as an honest job, do it. Don't worry about what people have to say, what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I continued. I did that, and I did this at the same time. But prior to that, and that was my major piece in life. And this is right after my father passed away. I was, I think, about 16 and a half, 17 years old, where I went to a shop which was opening up, and there was this. So I, went and I knocked on the door, and the guy opens the door, and I said, looking for a job. And this is, I think, back in 1986 or something, 86, 87. So he said, we're not hiring right now. I said, but I really, really need a job. This is a place called Carvel. It was an American ice cream chain that came into Pakistan. Okay. So I knocked on the door. The guy comes, says, no, we don't have a job. And then I insisted. He called me in, interviewed for about 5-10 minutes. He gave me a job, 3,500 rupees. Went there, worked with Carvel. And one day, most interesting, I think that was a life-changing event for me, where Pakistan, Australia were playing. I was given an ice cream tub to go sell ice cream at the National Stadium, Karachi. And I did. I was given a VIP enclosure because my Angrezi was better than the others. Yeah. My profile was slightly better than the others. So I was given the opportunity of selling ice cream in the VIP enclosure. So I went in one day, after finishing one box. I came back, I stood at the boundary line looking, where else can I go and sell ice cream? So I saw the hospitality side, the glass rooms and air conditioned and everything. So I went up and I opened the door. It was about 34, 35 degrees outside. It was very hot. And I opened the first door and this gush of wind comes out. And I take this, I take a deep breath. I get थोड़ा सा फ्रेश हुआ. With that gush of cold wind comes out कि एक बंदा अंदर बैठा था, उसने जितनी गालियाँ दे सकता था खानदानी, वो गालियाँ देनी शुरू कर दी उसने. And when I say खानदानी,
ठीक ठाक.
इतने में कोई दरवाज़ा आया और किसी ने ज़ोर से उठा के दरवाज़ा मुंह पे बंद किया. I stood there for a little while. I turned, went back to the boundary line. Now that was my moment of truth. Okay, where I stood there on the boundary line. पीछे मैच चल रहा है, लोग शोर मचा रहे हैं, and people are howling and everything. And there I was, defining moment for me was that I raised my right hand. And I pointed at that door, at that hospitality box, and I said, one day, I'm going to be sitting right there. खत्म हुआ, घर चले गए. I think about 5 years later, I was sitting in that very box. Because that's when life moved on, and I was sitting in that very box. And when I entered that hospitality box that day to watch another match, and guess who was playing? Pakistan Australia again. It was just one of the most beautiful moments of my life. Very rewarding. Though I wasn't doing something major, but it was still rewarding. Okay, after that, I worked in Paktel. Now,
Before we move on to Paktel, actually, I want to know one thing about that period. That period, I can understand completely about the struggles and the reality checks as a whole, right? Life really knocked some sense into you, I'm sure, and also got you to be a lot more humble as well.
yes.
Yeah, all of those experiences can have an effect.
Yeah.
And at that age also, I want to know a little bit about what was going through your mind when you were kind of like forced to wait tables or pick up shit, for the lack of a better word, as well, and to actually go and just serve people, because these are jobs which, especially unfortunately in our country, are just looked down upon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? What was going through your mind at that age?
Okay. Now, at that point in time, I know what I wanted to do in life. Okay, this wasn't it. Okay, I wanted to get to the next level.
Yeah.
And I've always given myself these short-term goals.
Yeah.
Okay. And I had given myself a goal that by this age I am going to get out and I'm going to be doing this or doing that. I've always given. What I've also done, I've given with a goal, I've given some materialistic element to it, like a car. Okay, so my first car was a Datsun Cherry 2-door. It had no brakes.
Nice, even better.
Okay, no brakes.
Yeah.
We had to actually stop the car with a handbrake.
No way.
Okay. Kabhi kabar to handbrake and the tongue coming out of the door and stopping the car.
Oh damn.
That was my first car. Bought it for 5,000 rupees. Okay.
Yeah.
And but again, always gave myself short-term goals. Now, I think that's when what I always tell people, कि भाई short-term goals are very important. I'm like, if you don't have goals in life, you're like a headless chicken,
Yeah.
running around in circles doing nothing. But you have to give yourself a goal in life. And I gave myself a goal. And those short-term, so long-term goal and then short-term goals. And those short-term goals helped me become the person I am today. As far as your question goes on me being humble, coming back here, humble enough. And I think humility was the one thing that my mother kept on instilling in us. Okay, humility is the most important part. So even today, humility, I believe, maybe at times I miss out on that, but majority of the time, consciously, I make sure humility is a part of my DNA. Okay, and that is what I try to instill in my children as well. Okay, irrespective of what you want to do in life, humility is the one factor you will never and can never let go. So humility is there.
And I also I can understand the unwavering belief.
Yeah.
That belief and that trust also in the process, keh do, upar wale pe keh do.
Yeah.
Faith, belief.
I've always believed in having faith in your abilities.
Yeah.
Just recently, somebody was talking about, luck is very important. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, like I always share a story of Alexander the Great. When he was a little child, he was 9 years old, he went to a palmist. He says, tell me, when will I be conqueror of the world? So the palmist looked at his hand, he says, son, you'll never be conqueror of the world. He said, why? He said, well, a conqueror has a line which cuts across the palm. You don't have that line. So he looked at him for a little while, picked up a dagger, cut his palm across. Khoon saaf kiya. He says, tell me, when will I be conqueror of the world? And by the age of 28, 29, he conquered half the known world. Okay? That's where belief comes in. That's where, after having that faith and that belief, what you do with it also kicks in.
Yeah.
Okay? Because just having that faith कि हो जाएगा, you have to put some action behind it.
Yeah.
ठीक है ना? अगर action नहीं होगा तो उसका फिर सिर्फ बातों में बातें रह जाएंगी. तो action on what your beliefs are, what you want to do in life, वो बहुत ज़रूरी है. Otherwise सिर्फ बातें. And I try not to do just बातें. I have done it in my life over a period of the years that I worked. I बोलता कम हूँ, well, not कम, वैसे my job is to talk, but I believe in myself and I have faith that if you put in the right effort, it will happen. It will happen, but you have to put in the effort.
Definitely.
Otherwise it won't.
Definitely.
I'm like, आप अगर हाथ पे हाथ रख के बैठे हैं और बोलेंगे जी अल्लाह ताला आपके लिए सब कुछ कर देगा, अल्लाह ताला के और भी काम बहुत हैं, ठीक है ना? अल्लाह ताला आपके टारगेट्स और आपकी गाड़ियाँ नहीं होगा, तो अल्लाह ताला ने आपको दिमाग दिया है, हाथ पैर दिए, सेहत दी है, इस्तेमाल करो ना. I went to Gizri पे once. There was a mela happening, and I was looking after one particular stall, which was a treasure island, treasure chest or something. So I went to a चाबी वाला and I said कि यार ये एक चाबी है, एक ताले की, इसकी मुझे 30 चाबियाँ बना दो. Okay? और बाकी सारी आइडेंटिकल रखो, एक बाकी सारी गलत बनाओ, एक सही बनाओ, मगर they all should look the same. तो he looked at me, goes, हो जाएगा. मैंने एक चाबी का कितना लोगे? कहते 30 रुपए. मैंने ठीक है बना दे यार. तो he takes the key and then he returns the key to me. He goes, मैं नहीं बना सकता. क्यों? कहता अगर मैंने सारी चाबियाँ आपको बना के दे दी तो अगले ग्राहक को क्या बेचूंगा? मैंने बोला बेवकूफ़ आदमी, जो बंद कर दुकान, चाबियाँ लेकर आ, क्योंकि ये 30 चाबियाँ तुझे बनाने में कितना टाइम लगेगा? मैं 30 चाबियाँ तुझसे ले रहा हूँ. कहते नहीं दूँ. I went to the next door and the guy made me the key. So हमारी जो want and that will, we're not hungry enough.
Yeah.
We're not hungry enough. हमारे अंदर वो भूख ही नहीं है. बहुत कम सेगमेंट्स होंगे जहाँ पर आपको एक्चुअल भूख मिलेगी, जहाँ पर want मिलेगा. Today I'm sorry, but you know when I go out there and I meet the youngsters of today, there's no hunger in them. Majority of the people, they don't have any hunger in them. हम लोग ख्वार के, I still have a shoe, which was my first shoe that I had when as a salesperson, जिसमें अभी भी 3 छेद मौजूद हैं. And I wore that juta because I couldn't afford to get more jutas. And I wore that juta and I still have, I've wrapped it up and stuff and I've kept it there.
Yeah.
ठीक है ना? Maybe one day when I get very famous and stuff, I can auction it or whatever. But that's what happened. So yes, having faith is very important. Believing in yourself is even more important.
Well said. It's like I'm talking to myself, but an older version of some sorts. Okay, so wow, all right. I want to know a little bit about this move into sales.
Yes.
And that's where Parktel comes in.
Yeah, but before the Parktel bit comes in Holiday Inn. Holiday Inn I used to, we at the reception area.
Yeah.
But then the sales guys used to be the big guys. You know, suits में घूम रहे होते थे in front of us and ordering us around and stuff. And I liked. So I had a sales calling here that this is what I want to do, because they used to go out, they used to get to meet people, they had the gift of the gab, and they used to, you know, it was very motivating for me.
Yeah. Like you kind of think it's slick.
Yeah.
And it's like the movies.
अच्छा, interestingly, आप जब आप मार्केट में जाते हो ना, आप किसी से पूछते हो यार तुम सेल्स की नौकरी करना चाहोगे? बोलेगा नहीं.
सब मना करते हैं.
सेल्स की नौकरी कुछ और करा दें. अच्छा, वो उसको मैं टाइटल को चेंज कर दूं तो नौकरी कर लेगा, बट सेल्स की नौकरी नहीं करनी. तो मैं अक्सर लोगों को बोलता हूँ कि यार डू यू नो दैट 85% ऑफ द वर्ल्ड्स CEOs come from the background of sales. They don't realize that.
Yeah.
They just want that job जहाँ टेबल हो और कंप्यूटर हो और टेलीफोन हो, 17 डिग्रीज पे AC चल रहा हो, दैट्स व्हाट दे वांट. ख्वारी नहीं करनी, बाहर नहीं जाना. वो जब तक आप अपने जूते नहीं रगड़ोगे यार, यू विल नेवर बिकम द पर्सन यू वांट टू बिकम. थोड़ी तो ख्वारी तो करनी पड़ेगी, ठीक है ना. दैट्स व्हाट आवर पीपल आर नॉट रेडी फॉर इट. सो एनीवे, I went and I asked who was no names, the person who's heading sales. I said, I want a sales job. He says, no, you don't have it. I said, okay. Chala gaya. Moved into Parktel. Parktel से पहले I went to our competition at that point in time, Instaphone था. तो वहाँ पर जो उनके head of sales थे, तो I went for the interview. And he was the national sales manager of the company and stuff, big guy, looking for a small job. So I went for my interview and he gets up and he looks at me, eye to eye. He said, you don't have what it takes to be a salesperson. And I thought to myself, yeah, big guy, he must have seen something in me to be saying something as big as this. My biggest mistake in life, I wasted 3 days of my life believing in that individual. As you know, I just minced my words.
Yes.
Yeah?
Feel free, man.
Yeah. So 3 days. 3 days later, I picked up my bori bistara again. Dawn aata tha, us zamane mein Dawn ka news nikala. I used to go looking for a sales job. Because again, calling thi. Parktel mein jab naukri mili, now when I was in Parktel, I was a helpline assistant. Okay. Now helpline assistant, today's call center are thousands of people.
Yeah.
That day and age, the call center was one person at a time in a shift. Okay. And that person was me. So we were given these petiwala phones, these huge mobile phones, and we had to carry that around everywhere we went. And I was one person. And again, I tried getting a job in sales, namely. One day, there was a job vacancy in sales, but in Peshawar. I applied for the job, got the interview, I got in. The day I was packing up and I was leaving, the head of sales who was here in Pakistan, who was the sales head at that point in time, he comes up to me and says, why are you going to Peshawar? I said, I'm not going to Peshawar, I'm going to sales. I want to do a sales job. And he asked me that one question which changed my life completely, which was, what if I give you the same job here in Karachi? Would you be interested? I said, yes. And I was like, yes, got my first. So I got my first visiting card, which said, Raid Sami, sales officer, Parktel. You know what I did with my first visiting card? I turned it around. I wrote, never underestimate anybody. And I signed it. And you know who I sent it to?
Same individual.
That guy who said, you don't have what it takes. And I sent it to him. It was the 8th of August, which the date he had said what he had said. And every 8th of August, I used to courier it to him. And he used to receive it. Never did he call me. But I used to send it to him anyway. And one day I realized, bahut ho gaya, chhod do usko, jane do. And then I stopped. And that's where my sales journey began. From Parktel, I moved to Citibank. Citibank, from there I moved to ANZ Grindlays and Standard Chartered ka jo acquisition hui. Worked there, and about 17 years ago, I realized my son, was born after 8 years of marriage. I was sitting with my head of consumer banking, and I asked him, I said, tumhara beta kitna bada hai? Now, that guy was a workaholic.
Yeah.
So I said, tumhara beta kitna bada hai? So he looked at me with a very blank look. He says, itna bada hai. So I said, what is that supposed to mean?
Yeah.
He said, yaar, main jab ghar se nikalta hu, wo so raha hota hai. Jab main ghar wapas aata hu, wo so raha hota hai. So I can only see him grow horizontally. And that was the nail in the coffin. I said, I do not want to see my son grow horizontally. I'd like to see him grow vertically. So I went up to my wife, and supporting individual that she is, she said, you want to do it? Do it. So I left my 7-figure salary 17 years ago, and I started my own work. I did not even know what I was going to do. Karna kuch aur tha, ended up doing something totally different. But then these last 17 years of my life have been the most rewarding, Because what I have learned in this period is, yes, money is important. Anybody who says कि पैसा important नहीं है, झूठ बोलता है, ठीक है ना? So money is important. But with money, I believe creating great memories is more important. So I have created some fantastic memories with my son, and then my daughter came along, and the relationship I have with my daughter and my son, I believe that, you know, when I'm 75 years old and or plus, if I'm still around, these memories will keep bringing that smile on my face that I have today whenever I see them. So I spend most of my day with them. I've taught them how to drive. I've taught them how to do cycling. I've done everything under the sun with these guys. They play golf. So whatever it is. So I have a fantastic relationship. The one thing that I have also done and I have maximized on is the two things that I've learned in life. Okay, is prioritization. सारी चीज़ें important है. जो करना है सब कुछ important है. 100 चीज़ें सारी की 100 चीज़ें important है. मगर what you need to do is you need to prioritize which is more important than the other. ठीक है ना? अगर आप वो prioritization करना सीख जाए तो आपकी ज़िंदगी बहुत सिंपल हो जाएगी. लोगों को प्रायोरिटाइजेशन करना नहीं आते. वो व्हाट दे डू इज दे ट्राई टू डू एवरीथिंग एट द सेम टाइम. तो कोई काम अच्छा नहीं होता. एक चीज़ पकड़ो, जब काम करो तो वर्क लाइक देयर इज नो टुमारो. जब पार्टी करो तो वर्क लाइक देयर इज पार्टी लाइक देयर इज नो टुमारो. ओके, व्हेन यू विद योर फैमिली, there's nothing else in this world than your family. Enjoy them to the you know what I mean. So I enjoy my family. ठीक है ना? तो जो कुछ करता हूँ, अभी मैं यहाँ पर हूँ, सब कुछ बंद है. दूसरी चीज़ प्रायोरिटाइजेशन के बाद कंपार्टमेंटलाइजेशन. सो आई हैव लर्न टू कंपार्टमेंटलाइज. बहुत सारे डब्बे, ठीक है ना? फाइनेंशियल डब्बा भी है, घर वालों का डब्बा भी है, काम का डब्बा भी है, एवरीथिंग एल्स इज देयर. बट कोशिश करता हूँ कि मैं एक वक्त में एक डब्बा खोलूँ. जब सारे डब्बे साथ खुल जाएंगे कोई काम अच्छा नहीं होगा. So I think I've learned to prioritize and compartmentalize my life as well. Thus the reason of being, Allah ka shukar hai, God has been very kind. I am a very, very, so if I die today,
you'll die a happy man.
There are certain things that I need to do, and I told my wife just last week, I said, यार मेरे पास ज़्यादा 10 साल हैं और, ठीक है ना? अच्छे साल where I'm active and I can do some stuff. Do I have some regrets? I'm like, I made mistakes, and then everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah,
I have made some mistakes in life where we went up and then we went down and we went up, and so it's just like a roller coaster. The good thing is I never made the same mistakes twice. Okay, we made different ones, and that's all right. हम लोग की generation, not हम लोग की, जो the new generation is also very scared of making decisions. One, and they're very scared of failing. It's all right to fail, yeah. And like, what's the worst case scenario? You fail, you do it again, try something else. So I always encourage people to make mistakes and fail, yeah. Failing is not the end of the world. I'm like, I have failed so many times, yeah. I have failed so many times. But
fail fast, fail frequent.
Absolutely. And learn from it. Don't make the same mistake, because if you see, and I always share this example, when you had your first bicycle, जब आपको पहली साइकिल मिली तो आपने क्या किया? आप बैठे, आपका दिल धक 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 कर रहा है, आपने इधर पॉइंट ए से पॉइंट बी तक पहुंचना है. सब खड़े हुए, खानदान वाले सब खड़े हुए देख रहे हैं. आप जब वो 4 पहियों में से 2 पहिए जब निकल गए तो यू लेफ्ट विद ट्रूथ. तो यू गेट ऑन द बाइसाइकिल एंड स्टफ, आपके हैंडल हिल रहा होता है, दिल धक धक कर रहा होता है, बट यू आगे जा रहे होते हैं, आपको क्या होता है? यू फॉल. और मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द टाइम पीपल फॉल ऑन द राइट हैंड साइड. और 2 जगह चोट लगती है, एक यहाँ लगती है, घुटने पे लगती है. What do you do? Do you throw the cycle away? No, you get back on it again. Why? Because that's the difference of when you're younger, and that's the difference between what you are now. Because now at that point in time, failure was not a bad thing. So you get back on the bicycle again, और आपने point A से point B पे पहुंच गए, जब point B पे पहुंचे, आपने बोला यार, I have conquered bloody Mount Everest. That's the feeling. That is what I tell people. Don't let that feeling go away. When you accomplish something, even if it's as small as this, celebrate it. हम लोग celebrate नहीं करते यार. हम लोग party नहीं करते. हम लोग अपनी ज़िंदगी जीते नहीं हैं. complain करते रहते हैं. We bitch and we complain. I'm sorry, I don't
No,
know
no,
if I'm
I'm
supposed
cool
to
with
use
it.
that, yeah. So we bitch and we complain and we bitch and we complain every single. Bhai, look at what you have. Don't look at what you don't have. उसका तो शुगर करो ना. तो हम लोग बस वही जो फेलियर हो गया, अब हमको वो वाली मिस्टेक फिर से करनी नहीं. People say think out of the box. I say think like there is no bloody box. Because when you think out of the box, you still have that comfort zone
Yeah.
of going back into the box and getting into your shell. When there is no bloody box, there's no bloody box. Keep on coming up with ideas. The stupidest ones have worked for me. The stupidest one have worked for me. And I keep on making it, yeah. But so that's yeah. I'm sorry. You
No,
gotta tell
no,
me when to
like-
shut up, yeah. I will
no.
keep on going on, and I have this habit of talking for 10 hours straight. So
And
you
that's
don't have
the great part, right?
yeah.
I actually enjoy hearing these kind of stories and perspectives as well. So, what are you doing now? Where are you at in life at this point?
Satisfied. One. Okay. So work-wise or what?
Work-wise.
Work-wise. So I have a daycare center that I run.
Mm-hmm.
I have a ladies only spa that I run.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm a partner there in both these places. But my main bread and butter is the outsourcing that I do. I do payroll management.
Mm-hmm.
I do these training and development. I work. So over the past 17 years, what I've identified is my niche and what is my calling is sales. That's what I want to do. I want to work with organizations which has sales teams, sales units. I work best with people. Okay. So I am working with sales teams mainly with the financial sector, but I work with non-financial as well, and I'm working with sales teams. That's what I do. I do motivational speaking sessions. I do go to different universities. I go to different colleges. I speak because that's something I love doing. Wherever I can add value. I'm a life coach by certification as well. And life coach was nothing else but fulfillment. Okay, it is so fulfilling that I cannot tell you. I mean, like one time I had a client a long time ago. They had issues. Well, the mother came once, and I worked with her for 6 months. The mother then passed her daughter on to me, who was 14 years old. She had issues. And one day, and the most fulfilling day of my life was, there was a knock on my door, office, and I opened the door, and there's this 6 foot 4 inch guy wearing a shalwar kameez with a beard. Got scared initially. And the guy says, I want to see Rahid Sami. I say, yes, that would be me. And the guy looked at me, and I could see his eyes. They were happy, yet they were sad. And he leaned forward and he put his arms around me. And he said, I am the father of and the husband of the individuals. Thank you for putting my family back together again.
Wow.
And he turned around and he walked away. And I stood there for the next 15 seconds not knowing what the hell just happened. Because life coaching that I do, and I work with people. Now, usually people turn around and after 6 months ask me, what the hell have we paid you for? I say, absolutely. Because life coaching is not about me telling you what to do. Life coaching is just about me helping you finding out the solution to your problem. Because you always had it. You always know the solution to your own problems.
Yeah.
That is all I do. I just talk to them, ask the right questions. I just drive them into a certain direction, and that's about all. And at the end of the day, because we're not supposed to tell people what the solution is, because my solution to your problem is my solution to your problem, not your solution to your problem. So I work with people and helping them come out with their solutions to their problems. Because hum log as individuals were weak. What we do is we try to look for avenues where we can, if we fail at it, we can throw it on something or someone. So if I was to come to you and said, yeah, I have a problem, you'd give me, but very honestly, you'll give me the solution to my problem. But again, remember, that's your solution to my problem, not mine. तो मैं जाता हूँ वो उस पे solution पे काम शुरू करता हूँ. it's successful, great. But अगर वो गलत हो गया, यार असद, what the hell have you done? Why did you know, next time please keep your solutions to yourself.
Yeah.
Because that's how we are as humans. We're weak. We need to throw it on something or on someone.
Yeah.
So that's what I do as a life coach. I have worked with youngsters. I have worked with older people. And again, as I said, very, very fulfilling. Motivational, as I said, I work with people on life, telling them कि भाईजान जिंदगी में बहुत बड़े मसले हैं. These are very, very non-issues that you guys are worried about. Go out there. Once you actually face the world, life is different. Okay, this is nothing. इस पे कहाँ तुम लोग रोते रहते हो कि ये प्रॉब्लम हो गई वो प्रॉब्लम. These are not problems.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to do as well. And as I said, I go to different universities and colleges and talk.
But as a sales coach,
yeah.
I want to, because I was a fitness coach myself, so I can completely understand. Okay,
I need fitness coaching here.
Aja, there's a gym outside. But I completely get the bond and the connection that gets made. And the idea of coaching is just about, I read this in a book where Jeff Bezos had a leadership coach as well.
Okay.
And the underlying score of that as compared to being a consultant is that a coach is actually in the process with you and getting you to tap into your true potential.
Absolutely.
Whereas a consultant, again, is just giving you a solution.
Yeah, so on that account, so हमारे यहाँ ये होता था in my time when I was in sales. So I was here, my supervisor was here, okay? But what used to happen at that time, my supervisor used to come down to our level, talk to us in our language, and slowly and gradually
Bring us up.
take us to that level. Because abhi kya hota hai, this guy talks in his language to this guy.
Yeah.
Now, if this guy could understand this guy's language, he wouldn't be down here. He'd be up here too. Today's day and age, this gap is not being filled.
Yeah.
Because competition भी ज़्यादा है, time भी ज़्यादा है, लोगों के पास इतना वक्त नहीं दे सकते कि भाई मैं mentoring और क्यों coaching करते रहूं. So what I am trying to do is I'm trying to fill in this blank, this space in the middle. I'm trying to fill this up. So I go to organizations and I say, yeah, I know you don't have the time. Give me these people. Let me work with them because I understand them. I don't want to do these classroom trainings only because I don't think it adds a lot of value longer run.
Yeah.
I believe in doing classroom and on job as well. Okay. So you want to go out, because I remember my first sales call at Parkdale, I went and I was given an Alto. And the गाड़ी का number क्या था? My fuel guy used to 8450, ठीक है ना? So I whenever used to go for a fuel slip, 8450 बोलना पड़ता था. So I went, my first sales call, I was wearing a black suit, I was wearing a red tie, and I was wearing a white shirt, all gelled hair and stuff, and juta shining and everything. And we were going to a place called Meethadar, okay?
Behind Kharadar.
Near Kharadar. So my boss parks right next to me and he looks at me ऊपर से, किधर जा रहा है? मैं सेल्स कॉल पे. कहते क्या वलीमे पे जा रहा है? टेक ऑफ योर जैकेट. आई सेड व्हाट? कहता टेक ऑफ योर जैकेट. जैकेट उठाता है कोट में. कहता है टाई को ढीला करो. टाई को ढीला किया. कहता है जूते गंदे कर अपने. जूते गंदे किए. नॉट बिकॉज वी आर गोइंग टू ए प्लेस विच इज गॉड फॉरबिड, यू नो, हमसे कम है या वो. एक छोटा सा कमरा दिस साइज, हाफ दिस साइज रूम इन मीठादर इज लाइक करोड़ों का बिकता है. half this size, इतना कमरे में करोड़ों का है. So कहते जूते गंदे के बाल, ये जो तूने जेल वेल किया उसको ठीक कर, उसको थोड़ा सा रफ किया, तो अब चल. We went in because they wouldn't accept somebody in a suit. They would only accept somebody who is in their language के, you know, एक साथ का बंदा टाइप चीज़ है. Anyway, वहाँ पर बैठ गए. वहाँ पर जब बैठे तो खाना आ गया. एक थाल आ गई थी, उसमें चावल, दाल, सलाद, everything was there. So उन्होंने बोला जी बिस्मिल्लाह. And I'm like, eventually उसी में हमने हाथ में डाल के हमने वो गोश्त निकाला, आलू निकाला. Actually it was very tasty. और फिर जो खाना शुरू किया, then I said hell with it यार. फिर हमने खाना वाना खाया. That was my first sales call because and the first time I ever made a presentation was at a pharmaceutical company where I went and So I made the presentation for my boss. And this is Citibank.
Yeah.
And while we were entering the boardroom, about 10 steps before we were entering, my boss tells me, I'm not making the presentation, you are. I said, no, I'm not. I said, you are. And we enter the boardroom, the board sitting there, and I was like trembling. So the table was this high. My waist below, I was trembling, and I had to keep a composure. And I made that first presentation of my life. I had fun, okay? And then from then onwards, I always told him, I said, no, आप better, I'll make the presentations. वो ज़रूरी होता है because once you dive in, okay, and you get the feel. And I still remember my father, I think I was 8, 9 years old. He took me to the deep end and he picked me up and he literally threw me into the water. I went down 12 feet, came up, I screamed, bachao. And I could see my father standing right next to the pool, having his cigarette and stuff. I went down 3 times, went up, went down, went up. Eventually, when I saw my father ain't coming, I started paddling. Haath pair marne shuru kiye, got to the side. I cried initially, but guess what? I had fun doing it. And then slowly and gradually, I used to, thoda sa side pe hua, phir wapas aa gaya. That's the important part. Dive in. What's the worst case scenario? You'll fail.
Yeah.
But you'll never know what the thrill of failing is until you fail.
Yeah. There's sorry, I'm actually going to take off from what you just spoke about your first sales call. There's this impression also that, especially in the West, or from whatever content I consume and what media I consume, sales is like a very Wolf of Wall Street kind of a business.
Yeah.
Right? Do you agree with that? Do you
It's very rewarding.
Yeah.
Very rewarding.
But like the movie, I mean, have you seen Wolf of Wall Street?
Of course I have.
So,
but 10 times.
Yeah.
Yes.
And is it actually...
It all depends what you're doing. It all depends. Because like, for example, pharmaceutical sales, very different to Wolf of Wall Street kind of sales.
Yeah.
You have to be extremely patient.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the doctors make you wait, 3 ghante outside their clinics. You have to be very patient. You have to be very focused.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to know what your end goal is. Okay. Some require the Wolf of Wall Street kind of that happening, but that keeps you pumping.
Yeah.
Okay. That is the important part. You've got to be hungry enough to get up every single time, every single morning of going and making that difference. Sales does that to me. My wife says, if you were ever to go back in a job, what would you pick? I said, sales every time. Because sales gives me the high which no other job does. Okay, that's what sales does for me. I like talking, converting a no into a yes, or maybe even. That's that thrill.
Yeah.
And as I said, sales jobs. I had a guy working for me. He used to make his base salary was 2,500, and he used to make more money than I did as commission.
Wow.
Okay. So I offered him a permanent job. He says, no, not right now. Let me make some money first. People don't understand and realize that जितना आप effort लगाओगे, उसके ज़्यादा ही आपको returns मिलेंगे. Sales is the only job in this world that I believe that जिसकी trajectory ये है. Okay. If you put in the effort, आपकी trajectory of your professional growth in your organization is like this. The other jobs are slow paced and stuff, but sales आपको trajectory ये मिलेगी हमेशा. Okay, but the only thing you need to do is perform and put in the effort.
So how do you instill that when you're coaching?
Yeah,
I can understand that from on a personal level when you were at Citibank and Parktel and so on, and you live that life.
Yeah.
Now you're coaching people to either live that life or to adopt the best practices that you've learned.
Yeah.
How does that process happen?
देखो, number one, what I always tell people कि 5 उंगलियां बराबर नहीं है. Okay, हर एक की number one strength कुछ और है. I believe in one thing, that there are 2 people who are born in this world. Okay, they're born, can't be made. Sales people and idiots. They're just born. Okay, either you have it or you don't. But then I always say that every single individual in this world is a salesperson. Okay, whether you are an engineer, a doctor, or anybody, you're just selling.
Yeah.
Either you're selling services or you're selling products.
Yeah.
ठीक है ना? So every individual is a salesperson. So what you need to do is you need to first understand people. Okay, this individual may have a different strength
Yeah.
compared to this one. So once you understand people, okay, and you have to give them that authority, because everybody, sales people, आजकल मैं देखता हूँ कि सेल्स वालों को आप बहुत सारे पेपर वर्क दे देते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, that's the worst thing that you can do to a salesperson is give them paperwork, because they hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, don't give them paperwork. Just tell them do what they're good at doing, and going out there, identifying segments, going out there, meeting people, and closing deals. The pressure of today is very different to the pressures of yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, they have to close deals. Okay, so one organization called me and says, यार हमारी attrition बहुत हो रहा है, जरा आके check करो हो क्या रहा है. Why are people leaving? So I said, okay, I'll go to your sales office. So I was put in a room which had glazed windows, but I could hear, couldn't see. So I went inside, I sat in the conference room, and I heard this person breathe. तुमने क्या किया आज? Asked the sales guy. And the guy said, आज कुछ नहीं लाया. तो उसने फिर सांस लिया और जितनी खानदानी गालियाँ दे सकता था उसको दे दी. Because he didn't close anything the previous day. He asked the next guy, तुम क्या करा? तुमने क्या किया? उसने जी मैं भी कुछ नहीं. उसने फिर भी उसको भी खानदानी गालियाँ देनी शुरू कर दी. So I picked up my stuff. I went back to the HR head and said, "You're supposed to come back in the evening. What happened?" I said, यहाँ कोई गालियाँ सुनने थोड़ी आता है. ठीक है ना? आप पहली चीज़ तो लोगों को समझाएं और ट्रेन करें कि लोगों को गालियाँ दें. Respect is the number one element. हम लोग अपने sales वालों को we don't give them the respect that they deserve. They're your front end soldiers.
Yeah.
Okay, your front end people. So you've got to give them the respect. I remember my Citibank boss giving me a story. So when I got to my first managerial leadership role, he called me into his room and he said, let me share a story with you. I said, yes. He says, once upon a time, there was this group of hunters. They used to go on to this hunting lodge for hunting. तो पहली दफ़ा जब वो वहाँ गए, they were given this hunting dog, full of life, छलांगे मार रहा है, ये कर रहा है. You know, when they were to shoot a bird or whatever, वो जाके लेकर आना, full of energy and passion in that dog. तो पूछा इसका नाम क्या है? What's his name? He said, इसका नाम salesman है. I was okay. So next year comes hunting season. So the guy calls up the lodge manager. He says, we're coming, keep salesman ready. So they go, the salesman was ready. They go hunting, coming back. The third year, they did the same thing. They called up the lodge and said, we're coming, keep salesman ready. So the manager said, sir, you don't want salesman this time. He said, why? What happened? He said, well, he's not the same anymore. He said, what do you mean? He said, well, his passion level has gone down. His enthusiasm level has gone down. He now just sits in the corner and barks and does nothing. Bhonkta rehta hai. He says, what happened? He said, we made a mistake. He goes, what mistake? He says, we changed his name from salesman to sales manager. He says, never become a sales manager. Be a salesman. And to date, that is what I have done. I have stayed a salesman. I call myself a hunter. I go hunt for business. And that's what I do right now.
Yeah.
Okay. And one time I was sitting at Parkdale, I got a call. Somebody wanted a mobile phone, and it was Agha Sanabdi sir. I don't know if you've heard of him. Agha Sanabdi was BCCI and president of UBL as well. So I went to him. His health was on the decline. Main Clifton Road pe, the gates opened, and there were 2 Mercedes-Benz and 2 BMW standing there. Beautiful cars. You know, back in the days, those were very, very limited cars. And on the right-hand side was a bottle green Fiat 125 standing, shining as well. All right. I went inside, had a talk with him, and I asked him a question. I said, sir, how do you define success? He said, success for me is not the house, the money, or anything. Success for me is जब मेरे पीठ पीछे लोग मेरी तारीफ करते हैं. That is the true success. So I went out. He was on the wheelchair at that time. तो जब मुझे वो छोड़ने आए दरवाजे तक, तो वाला दरवाज़ा खुला जो सामने Fiat 125 खड़ी थी. So I turned around and I said, one last question before I go. I said, I understand the 4. I don't understand this. I can still visualize the smile on his face that he had at that point in time. He said, beta, ये गाड़ी मुझे याद दिलाती है मैं क्या था. I don't ever want to forget. Present में बैठता हूँ, चला जाता हूँ. ये गाड़ी जब मैं वापस आता हूँ, फिर मुझे याद है. This car keeps me grounded. टुडे हम लोग अपनी स्टोरीज शेयर नहीं करते. We don't share our stories. Somebody who's become a president portrays to the rest of the world that he was born a president of an organization.
Yeah.
He wasn't. They need to, and everybody needs to share how they got here. That's why I've shared my story. I always share my stories because I have no problems in doing that. Some people do share it, but majority don't share it.
Yeah.
Okay? I want people to start sharing their stories so people who have just come out and there is more competition today than it was yesterday to know that there is hope.
Yeah.
Okay, there is hope. There is a way of getting to that level. Just find out. You don't have to be the CEO of a company outside. You can become the CEO of your own company.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to have 20,000 people reporting into you. You can have 10 people reporting into you initially, and then slowly and gradually, grow in whatever you believe in. But kuch to karo. So people need to start mentoring people.
Yeah.
ठीक है ना, आप हाइपोस तो बोल देते हो इन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, पर उन हाइपोस के साथ होता क्या है?
Yeah.
You throw him into the den and then they have to fight it and every single day.
Yeah.
And they get demotivated and dejected. Talk to them.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do, and that's what I do with the sales coaching is I talk to them. I let them vent out. I let them, because when they go and talk to their supervisors, they're scared of being judged.
Yeah.
Okay. If I go and talk to them about my problems, will I be judged? Will they look at me differently? It doesn't matter. So I want to be that guy who fills in that space for people. They can come to me, they can talk to me, they can email me, whatever they want, whatever avenue they want to take. So I work on that on the sales coaching side.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have two last questions for you. I won't take too much of your time.
Please take my
But
time. I'm enjoying it.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Yes.
it's fun, isn't it?
It is fun.
Yeah.
And why it's more fun? Because I've just gone back in time.
Yeah.
Okay, that time machine of going back and visualizing the entire journey again.
Yeah.
It's I think it's very refreshing
Yeah.
and it's very motivating for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow morning again. Yes. So yeah, your two questions.
So, because you've worked like hands down, you've had a pretty interesting and fulfilling career as a whole. I'm sure that you've learned something or the other from every single experience, and at all stages, at all levels of seniority, and even as an entrepreneur, when you practically have to just report to yourself and your family as well. What do you feel about empathy in the whole workspace, especially in Pakistan?
Yeah.
You just said that you actually talk to them. You talk to these students, or जो भी आप कहते हैं, employees कहते हैं या students जो है आपके. How do you think that empathy can be scaled up in the workspace? Because that's personally something that I feel is actually missing.
Okay, that's a tricky one. Okay. Now, empathy is great.
Yeah.
Humility is great. But if I'm working, this is not a charity
Yeah.
that I'm working for. Okay. As we were talking about, in today's day and age, the COVID is really helping people stay at home.
Yes.
Okay. So I am not feeling well today and I'm staying back home. मैं आज office नहीं आ सकता. They're taking advantage of it. Okay. Now, empathy, if I understand what you mean, is how you feel and how much time you give them to perform, or what? How
Getting onto their level
Yeah.
and putting yourself in their positions or in
Sure.
their shoes.
Yeah, देखो, empathy important है, but at the end of the day, performance भी important है. And like if I have 3 individuals in an office, उसमें से 2 काम कर रहे हैं, 1 काम नहीं कर रहा है, I will give him, मगर वो जो तीसरा है, बहुत अच्छा आदमी है. Humility बहुत है उसमें. बहुत नेक है, 5 वक्त का नमाजी भी है, उसका ख़ानदान भी है और 4 बच्चे भी हैं, माँ बाप भी हैं जिसको वो देखता भी है और घर का रेंट भी देता है. Great, do something about it. Don't just sit there. Okay, maximize on the opportunity. So I will give them, I will train them, I will help them, I will train them again, I will help them again. But there will be a point in time where I will have to say, thank you. Okay, maybe this is a wrong fit for you. वही चीज़ आजकल होती है. when you go for a sales interview, people don't want, sales is the bottom of the pyramid.
Yeah.
People don't want to work in sales.
Yeah.
पर जब कुछ नहीं मिलता और तो सेल्स की नौकरी करने
Yeah.
पहुंच जाते हैं, ठीक है ना. ना सेल्स की नौकरी जब पहुंचते हैं करने के लिए, तो हमारा फेवरेट जो स्पेशली मैंने फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर में देखा है, जो इंटरव्यूअर होता है उसका एक फेवरेट सवाल होता है, अच्छा यार मुझे बताओ स्पेशली इन द लाइबिलिटी साइड कितना लेकर आओगे, कितना डिपॉजिट ला सकते हो. वो बोलेगा जी मैं 50 मिलियन ले आऊँगा. वो तो ब्रांच मैनेजर की राल टपकनी शुरू हो जाती है कि यार 50 मिलियन मेरी ब्रांच यहाँ से यहाँ पहुँच जाएगी. वो 50 मिलियन कभी आते नहीं, बिकॉज उसके वो 50 मिलियन जो है वो है ही नहीं. Now what we do is we hire the wrong people for the jobs. Number one. अगर मैं भी कुछ ना करूँ ना, मैं 10 बंदे सामने खड़े कर दूँ और बोलूँ इन आउट 5 को फारिग कर दूँ, 5 को रख लूँ, प्रोबेबिलिटी है कि उस 5 में से 50% परफॉर्म करेंगे, 50% परफॉर्म नहीं करेंगे. Now how do I take that 50% to 75-80%? Is by asking the right questions, finding out whether sales या कोई भी नौकरी हो, चाहे वो सेल्स हो चाहे वो कोई और जॉब हो, whether that person fits for that is fit for that job. Is he the right bum on seat? वो बम ऑन सीट ही का गलत होता है. वो पता चलता है 3 महीने के बाद जो परफॉर्म नहीं करता, हम उसको लात मार के भगा देते हैं. It's not his fault or her fault. It is the person who's interviewing the individual, his fault. You've hired the wrong resource. You've lost money in the process. एक इंडिविजुअल को हायर करने में इवन इफ और उसको 3 महीने की तनख्वाह भी देते हैं तो 1-1.5 लाख रुपए का खर्चा आता है एक बंदे को रिसोर्स को रखने में. 3 महीने के बाद आप उसको फारिग कर देते हैं. नाउ इमेजिन करें वही जो आपके 1.5 लाख रुपए आप उस पर इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं और आपके अपने जेब से जा रहे हैं. How long will you keep the individual? And will you make that individual and spend time with the individual for that individual to perform?
Yeah.
वो हम करते नहीं हैं. बस हम उठाते हैं, फेंक देते हैं, जाओ. I don't care how you do it, do it. ओ भाई अगर उसको आता हो तो he wouldn't be doing this यार. So that is what I feel is also, so I empathize, but I also have to understand that I'm running a business.
Yeah.
Okay? I can take it to a certain degree, but then after, as I said, initially, I have to get the right person on the job. Then it is my responsibility to get that individual to the next level. Handhold, go down to their level, talk in their language, and slowly and gradually bring them up the curve.
Yeah.
And they will. And once they do that, I have a individual, and I I'll take his name, Maruf Ahmed. He's my mentor, and Haris Hanif, who's my Citibank mentor. These two people changed my life. Okay. The humility factor, the being aggressive on the field and stuff, they brought all that into my life.
Yeah.
And those people today, if they call me, सब कुछ छोड़ के आ जाओ, I wouldn't even think twice.
Yeah.
I would just go to them because I would know at the end of the day कि ये लोग जो भी सोचेंगे मेरी बेहतरी के लिए सोचेंगे. वो mindset है नहीं.
Yeah.
But I have proved it over a period of time. I'm sure that they're willing to take me back in again. So these two people are the individuals who made me into the person I am today professionally. ठीक है ना? Yeah. The other सवाल was? Sorry, or if there is any interconnected सवाल.
No. No, as a final.
Why do you laugh?
Sorry?
Why do you laugh?
Why do I laugh?
Yeah.
Because you're just like go. I love it. You know, the energy right now.
Yeah.
I'm personally a bit over. I've never been this overwhelmed in a conversation, by the way. So, and he's testament to that. No. He's testament to that. Everyone behind this camera, behind the scenes, knows that.
Yeah. You're just saying that just to make me feel good.
Is it working?
Definitely.
Yes.
Give me more.
Awesome. No.
I don't have a problem.
But as a final note, Rahid, just to summarize this whole conversation, there's a question I ask all the guests, and hopefully I'll be able to make something nice out of this one question. But if you could go back in time, if you could meet your younger self, we've spoken about everything. We've spoken about you as a whole, right? Based on any of these one areas, any particular point in time, if you could go back in time and you could meet your younger self, what would you tell him?
I'd love to have the same mother, the same father, the same brother, the same sister, the same set of friends, same wife, same son, same daughter. I wouldn't want to change anything at all. But I would also go back in time, but tell myself, which I tell my son, start bloody saving now. okay, that will help you in the long term. हम लोग save नहीं करते. We don't make those very intelligent. I haven't made those intelligent decisions in life. I have lived my life to the fullest. My mantra was always, you have one life, yaar, live it well.
Yeah.
Once is good enough. Okay, but then now I say the other thing. Live every day, you die once.
Yeah.
Okay, so live your life like there is no tomorrow. Okay, I wouldn't change a lot of things. Okay, because my life, Allah ka shukr, God has been very kind, as I said, is very fulfilled. I have had everything in my life. I've driven the best cars possible. I have lived well. I have fantastic friends. I get to play golf, which is my favorite sport. And I would tell everybody to take up golf, because networking, 80% of my business that I've ever in my last 17 years is because of golf, because I meet them there. And I will not share that secret of what we do, but that's what we've done. Majority of the business I've gotten is on the golf course. Okay. And I don't think I'd change it. I would keep it just the way it is, because life has been beautiful. And there are so many things that I still want to do. I still have my favorite song, of course, and they keep on asking me, and I've told them 18 Till I Die of Bryan Adams is my go-to song.
Yeah.
That's how I want to be known. That's how I'm going to go in my life. I told my son even, I said, when I'm gone and when the Rona Dona finishes in 3-4 days, that's the time when you call my friends, put in the music, get everybody in and talk about me. Don't talk about me of my death. Talk about me, how I lived my life, and share that with the world. That's what I want to share. I nothing else. I don't think I'll change anything.
Wow.
God, life is good.
MashaAllah. That's great. Rahid, this has actually been, I'm not saying this just to flatter you, but I actually mean that this was one of those conversations for me where it's like so much information just come my way. And lessons also.
And I can go on, my friend.
I'm sure. Part 2. Yeah.
Yep, part 2.
And I also try to find in these conversations, I sometimes try to give that entrepreneurial and business spin to it. But what actually ends up sticking with me more is the journey, is the process, is the lessons that have been learned and shared throughout. That's what's very important. And thank you so much for taking out the time and sharing all of this.
No, you're very welcome.
Personally, I think I need to hear also that prioritize to set है, compartmentalize भी थोड़ा सही कर दो.
हाँ, बहुत ज़रूरी.
बहुत ज़रूरी.
बहुत ज़रूरी.
And
enjoy your family. Are you married?
No.
No. Okay, sorry. Yeah. I don't want to say that because if it goes on, yeah. No, family, parents. My mother just recently passed, right?
Yes.
Regret? Yes. Couldn't get there. Enjoy your parents as much as you possibly can, because once they're gone, फिर आप माथा मारते रहेंगे, they're not coming back. Yeah. Okay, so enjoy them, give time to them. And I told before I came here, I was sitting with my son, and I told him, I said, once we grow old, okay, make sure you come to us once in a while. Just give us that tight hug, because that's important for parents.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have a parent, and if you have both, you're a very lucky individual. Go give them your siblings, your sister, your brothers, give them time. Yeah. That is what I keep on telling people, because once they go, then there's no coming back. There's no coming back. Yeah. So spend time and make beautiful, beautiful memories with them, whoever it is. Yeah.
That was great. And I think also as a final note, I do want to add in is that it'll be all right in the end.
Always
if you believe.
Is. Always is.
Yeah.
My favorite line, of course, is "This too shall pass."
Yes.
Whenever I've had the most difficult times, I keep on telling this to myself, "This too shall pass." And guess what? It does. Yes. It does. Because nothing in this life is constant. Okay? Nothing is constant. It keeps on changing. You have good days, you have bad days. You have very good days, and you'll have very bad days. Yeah. But the one thing that you will not and cannot let go of is that belief and that faith. Yeah. That it will be okay. Yeah. Okay. And getting up every single morning and wanting to make that difference out there. If you can do that, I every single day without fail, I clap my hands when first thing I wake up. I clap my hands, and that gives me the energy. Okay, and that's when I start doing what I do. I play golf in the morning, and life. Just never let go of that belief in yourself, because you are the best. If anybody tells you otherwise, okay, don't believe them, because you are your best friend and you are also your worst enemy.
Yeah.
Okay, you are the only competition in this world. And I just want to conclude with this story of mine. Once upon a time, there was a race. डड्डू, you know what a डड्डू is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so डड्डुओं की रेस होती है और पूरे पाकिस्तान से डड्डू बुला लेते हैं. Alright, तो पेशावर से भी डड्डू आ जाते हैं, लाहौर से भी डड्डू आ जाते हैं, कराची के डड्डू होते हैं, हैदराबाद, उन सबको यहाँ पर स्टार्टिंग लाइन पे खड़ा कर देते हैं. And everybody is given a पर्ची where the instructions are. On instructions say the race will begin from here. It's a 2.5 kilometer race. The moment you cross the finish line, there is a tower. उस टावर पे जब चढ़ोगे और उस पे टावर पे घंटी लगी हुई, जो घंटी पहले बजा देगा वो डड्डू जीत जाएगा. Everybody stands और the race starts. And at the beginning, everybody puts in the effort, और passion भी था, और भाग रहे हैं, पुदक रहे हैं, जा रहे हैं. इतने में जो सबसे पीछे डड्डू था ना, वो अपने साथ वाले डड्डू को बोलता है, सोने यार, इतने सारे डड्डू हैं, तू नहीं जीतेगा, forget about it. अच्छा साइड पे बैठते हैं, कोई कोक शोक पीते हैं. तो वो भी देखता है, कहता है यार इतने डड्डुओं के सामने तो मैं कभी नहीं जीत सकता. साइड पे बैठ जाता है. दूसरा डड्डू तीसरे डड्डू को बोलता है, सुन यार, जीतना है नहीं, छोड़ दे, आ जा, पानी पूरी खाते हैं. वो करते करते एक डड्डू ने जो कहानी शुरू की थी, थोड़ी देर में सारे डड्डू साइड पे, रोड पे, फुटपाथ पे बैठे हुए, कुछ खा रहा है, कोई कुछ खा रहा है, कोई कुछ पी रहा है. उसमें से एक डड्डू भागता गया इवेंचुअली फिनिश लाइन. और उसको सारे डड्डू ने बड़ी कोशिश की कि वो रुक जाए, वो नहीं रुका. इवेंचुअली वो फिनिश लाइन पे क्रॉस किए, ऊपर चढ़ा, घंटी बजाई, जीत गया. तो बाकियों ने बड़े परेशान हुए कि साला ये डड्डू क्यों नहीं रुका. तो जब इन्वेस्टिगेट किया तो पता चल गया जो डड्डू जीत गया था वो बहरा था. He was deaf. He couldn't hear the negativity and the negative comments of people around him.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, earplugs,
Blinders.
और वो जो blinders pen, blinders. Because the only thing you have to have in mind is that end goal in life. What do you want to achieve?
Yeah.
It's going to be very tough getting there. Very, very tough. But it is a possibility. You will get there if you focus. Don't let go. You will fail, but keep that focus. That's what I keep on telling people.
Brilliant. Raid, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me here.
This was great, everybody.
You know, you've thanked me 5 times already.
Up to I think this is the last time. But thank you once again. 6th time. That was Raid Sami, everybody. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.